Hey, you guys, it's Sarah here and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I make this really cute little pony with the long hair for little ones to practice doing hair and brushing it out and doing braids. And same with the little tail, it's nice and long. So I got a request to do a page like this from my Patreon. So I'll have the bulk template that I use to make multiple copies of this at once on my Patreon. It'll be given in SVG and JPEG format, so you can upload it right to your cutting machine and cut them out. I'll also have a PDF printable template available on my website, so you can just go print it off and you can create this if you wanted to just do a single copy for your little one. And in this video, you're actually going to see me do a unicorn version of this. It's the exact same. I just changed the brown to a pink and I just cut out a little triangle at the top for a unicorn horn, and then I'll have colorful hair. So you'll see that in this video, but it's the exact same template as this one. I meant to mention also that these eyes here that are on the pony are the exact same as the eyes that I use for my dinosaur activity page, and I use them in a bunch of other pages as well. So cutting them out the first time around, if you're on my Patreon and you're cutting these in bulk, there will be a whole sheet of just the eyes, cutting them out. It's annoying the first time, but they come in handy in so many different pages. I use them for all of my finger puppets. I use them on my big bird. If you saw one of my previous videos, if you saw a big bird in there, I just use them on a lot of different pages. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. It's really handy if you are like me and you're making and selling busy books in bulk. They come in handy. Thanks so much, you guys, for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So here's the cutout for the unicorn. I do some in brown, some in pink, and this is my baggie of all the white pieces for both the nose and all the pieces for the bottom of the feet. And so I've got the 4 different ones. I'm just going to see where they go on here. Okay, that's how they should look, and that's how they will look at the end. I'm not going to put those on right now, though. I just wanted to show you those to start. First, I'm going to go ahead and get out my yarn. Here is my bucket of yarn. So I have some brown for when I'm doing the ponies, and then I have some very rainbow colored yarn for when I'm doing the unicorn. And please forgive me as you look at this, for those of you who are very organized and really clean, and keep your yarn really nice and in a nice clean ball. I normally would do it like with this brown, I did, but with this one I had to unravel it to get to all the colors because I want to include every color in the hair. So I'm going to cut out 4 strings of each one, and I'm going to do nice long ones. Even if I have to trim it after, that's okay, because I'm going to use it for the tail as well. So if I have some extras cut out, that's great. So I'm going to cut out 4 of each color. What I really need to do is take a moment and get these colors cut out and then sorted out, but that will be for another day. So if that's how thick I'm going to make the hair, and just depending on how thick your yarn is, you may want to do a little more or less. I might do a little less because this for the pony, because my brown yarn is a little bit thicker. So you want it thick but not too thick, because you do have to sew over top of it. So but you still want it thick enough that they can actually braid it. So that's what I'm going to use. Here's the yarn, and this is how thick it is. And this part's kind of tricky because what I'm going to do is I'm going to be just lightly hot gluing it near the top of the unicorn's head. So I'm going to have it coming out in between the ears. And I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue about right here. I don't want to put a lot because I don't want it to soak through the page, but I just want it to kind of hold some of that hair in place. And I don't want to put it too far down the middle of the head, because I actually want it to come out like the back of the head, you know, where a pony's hair comes out. But I want to just have the top bit held in place. And again, this is kind of the tricky part, because what I want to do now is I'm going to put some hot glue right on here, and I want to glue it down onto the felt page, because unfortunately, if you just sew it on, that's not going to be strong enough to help keep it in place. So you have to apply a little hot glue. So let's see here. So this is what it will look like when it's down on the page. And then you also don't want to apply the hot glue too close to the edges, because then what will happen is when you go and sew around the edges, your needle will hit the hot glue and it will break your needle. So I'm just going to carefully apply it so that it sticks to my 8" by 8" felt page. And I failed really badly because it is just coming out the sides there. Okay, that was a fail. Normally when I make this, the first 6 times I made this, it was perfectly fine. The one time I film it, I totally mess that up. So I'm just going to push it over to this side now, and that's what it's going to be. And oh, also I need to just cut out a little triangle for the unicorn. I'm just going to cut that out freehand with my leftover white felt. So I'm going to tuck that unicorn in behind there. And what I'm going to attempt to do is sew around the border of the unicorn. I don't know how successful I'm going to be because I really messed up with the hot glue. It is at the edge, and so unfortunately that means I'm going to be sewing through hot glue. Wish me luck. Let's see how it goes. And for these bangs here, I'm going to just sew over top of them, sewing across. Oh, shoot. Okay. It's okay, Hannah. I made a mistake. I forgot to put in the pony as well. So before I continue sewing that, I'm going to pull that out. Sorry, you guys. I am all over the place with this video. Thankfully, that thread went through that hot glue okay. It did not break my needle, and it did not even gunk up my needle. So that was lucky. But normally, I am very careful about not getting hot glue near the edges so I don't sew through them. So you can see I got it sewn. I did a few layers of stitches at the top, sewed around, went down, and I accidentally went too far because I forgot I also want to put a pony's tail. So what I'm going to do is go back and pull out just a few of these stitches. And as you can see, the hair is very, very long, a little too long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out right around here. I'm going to have it extending beyond the page just because I kind of like that. That gives lots of hair for kids to practice braiding. And then I'm going to take that bunch. Some of these pieces might be a little bit too short, but I'm going to take, so I might have to take a few pieces out. Let's see, I think the rest are okay. So I'm going to do the same thing, except this one's going to be a lot easier to do with the hot glue just because I have a lot more space to deal with. So I'm just going to put some hot glue underneath on the inside and get it kind of on both sides, but don't be too crazy because I don't want it to soak through the felt and so show through the other side as much as possible. And I'll just trim off the excess tail. Okay, now that I've got the tail in place as well, I'm going to just continue sewing, continue my stitch, and I might even go over the tail a few times just to help do whatever I can to keep those from ever coming out. Okay, so that is all sewn around the border of the pony now, and I went over where the hair is a couple of different times, both on the bangs and on the back of the head and on the behind there where the tail is. And then the final thing I need to do is just hot glue on the rest of the details. This is how the 4 white pieces fit on the bottoms of the feet. And then I'm going to hot glue on the white nose as well. On a separate template all on its own, I use these little white and black eyes, and I cut them out on a totally separate template because I use these all the time, these size of eyes. I use them for my dinosaur puzzle, I use them for my finger puppets, I use them for my big bird. They just kind of tend to be a really good size. So that's what I'm going to be using on the unicorn. With all those hot glued on, I'm just going to trim the bangs so that they're not like in little loops. I'm just going to cut them all straight. And then I'm going to use a fine point fabric marker to just draw on a little smile, some nostrils, and maybe some eyelashes. And you can bet your bottom dollar that I have got some unicorn themed fabric. So I'm going to grab another 8" by 8" sheet of felt, and I'm going to cut out a square of fabric and wrap it around that sheet of felt. So that will be the back side of the page. I will just clip that to the front side, and I have a 2mm thick piece of felt that I cut out by hand with my scalloped edge scissors, and I just place that in between the front and the back page, and that will be used as my binding piece. So I'm going to go ahead, clip that together, and I will sew around the border. That's what the page looks like. And then last but not least, I use my heavy duty hole punch to put 2 holes in the binding piece. And that is what allows me to connect pages together using binder rings. when I am at craft shows or when people order on my website. And that's what the page looks like. So it's really cute. And let me just show you. Kids can grab the hair and braid the pony's hair. And if I was making this for my own child, I probably, like, I have pre-cut flowers that I purchased, like pre-cut felt flowers that I've bought before from local dollar stores. And then I have these leaves as well that I use on different pages. If I was making this for like a child in my life, I might add little leaves around the page or maybe little flowers just to fill out some of the blank space. However, because I'm making and selling these, I just decided to keep it simple, and then that way I can keep the costs lower. But yeah, that's what the page looks like, and then they can do part of the tail as well. So actually making and filming this did not go that smooth because I made a lot of mistakes, but thankfully it's pretty forgiving and it works out in the end, and it still looks really cute. So let me know if you guys have any questions. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Just one last time, here's what the pony version of it looks like as well. So they're both really cute and I like them both a lot. Okay, thanks so much for watching, you guys. I will have the details about costs, how much this costs, how much time it takes me to make it, all those good details available on my Patreon, along with the template in bulk. And if you just want to do a single PDF printable template, you can check out my website. Okay, thanks so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.